Does he want to play TF? Does he want to play Aurora? I think Aurora actually kind of works really well here for Scout if he's comfortable playing it. We've seen a lot of our older mid laners don't enjoy it as much. There's no Vi, but they deny it while also adding to their single target pick. This draft here is really coming together for Dandy, man.
But they just walk straight into a Zeka Silas? What do we do? It's like it's a Zeka tribute run with his Akali coming on through first. The Silas into the Ahri is something that we've seen many times. But instead, thinking about some other options, and the Aurora will be locked in the end.
It is still comical to me that we had 3 mid picks and then Zeka's like, I'm playing Aurora again. As we will see the
Scion. This is a much more serious draft out of HLE this time around.
And it is a real comp. It has a lot of burst damage, robust front line. Top side could be the weak side very easily with this Scion pick.
What is Kingen going to play into this, though?
That's the good question. With no
TF top.
I don't think he's going to play ranged. Oh, he's going to play Ambessa.
All right.
His face says what every LCK avid viewer says, which is...
I hope it works!
Yeah. Oil can!
It's always very wizard.
But look, just like the Ambessa we saw earlier today from B&K, you land any of this CC, like, she'll hit it, right? Like, probably. Depends on tenacity and things like that. But
there as well as Delight is back, forming the true 5 of HLE. Let's go to the Rift here for game 2. Whoa, okay. Strategic Glow Puck erupts as the HANWHA Live Esports fans really do want to bring us to another 6-gamer. Will be our 3rd of the season, as we had 2 in a row somehow from last Sunday to Wednesday. Took a break, and now we could be back again.
6-game ratio is going up.
It is just exploding right now. But NONGSHIM could deny it with a victory here. They have a composition that could certainly do so, and they also have the momentum in this series as well. And we also know they have the pedigree. Like, we know that these players are all capable of really good things.
Absolutely.
Just haven't been able to do it so far.
They have one really young, inexperienced player, and he's arguably their best player.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how it was in the old days of the LCK. For those who weren't around in the early 2010s, it's like the youngest player is the one you're worried about. If you're like a year and a half old, you're kind of old news. And Diablo has kind of brought us back to that because he's so incredibly young, so talented, but also has such a strong drive and is just incredibly good so early on in his career that even though he's not a veteran now, it feels like he's veteran status, and he is such a big threat. As this Scion pick for Zeus has been terrifying. He and Keen have been really having a great time.
Well, good dodge there as Lehens. This is a tried and true matchup, as of course Lehens and Delight did a fair bit of trading places throughout their careers, largely on Gen G.
Oh, I thought you meant like the Pike versus Niles. I was like, really? I'm like, no. We tried it. It was true.
Yeah.
That's what you mean.
Nah, more about just the players.
Yeah, now I know what you mean. Diablo versus Guma. Definitely a passing of the torch in terms of like era. I'm not even saying Guma's passed it to Diablo. Diablo's got a few world championships and MVPs to pick up before that happens.
Fair bit of catching up to do, yeah.
I really mean a new era versus old guard here at the LCK. As you can see, some of these wins here for HLE. Zeka, 7 games of Aurora, 5-2.
Pretty impressive, and especially Kanavi with 7-0 on the Vi. This champion certainly does speak to his playstyle, you could say. As Gumayusi and Delight will get pushed in quite a bit at the beginning of this game, probably wanting to get the lost chapter at least here for the Ziggs to feel a little bit better. Speaking of feeling better, Kingen has found his way back.
Oh, this is tricky.
Top lane, oh dear. Vault Breaker going to get charged up pretty soon here by Kanavi. As Kingen thinking about going in for it, and the Kanavi shows up to put him down.
Okay, I thought there was maybe an angle for Kingen to flash up to the other side of Zeus to avoid one more auto and get onto Zeus there. Avoid Kanavi, I mean to say. And
that was very so close. I think Kanavi.
Definitely not in that situation a call most players would make, just because it's hard to calculate whether you're going to kill that Scion or not in that moment. And like you're saying, the real story here is not how Kingen played this, it's just the trap that was set. never really expecting it. Zeus kind of just stands there and lets him use his buttons.
He almost gets him, actually.
Yeah. That's why I thought like maybe he flashes, but
there's a lot of players here as Kanavi has to flash out of the way of the charm from Scout. As HLE moved to a 700 gold lead as a result of that first blood. Pretty costly. And especially when it's Zeus getting a lead on this Scion, which will become very, very difficult to kill as this game progresses.
Hey,
Lands on the roam back down.
Yeah, I do see that Kanavi is somewhat nearby, so I think Lahens needs to be careful. Nice hook here. Yep. Fine.
Cute little buffer.
Slight wants to try to get some more here, but we'll just need to leave. As Lahens comes over. No ward for Lahens.
Yep. So everything is cool, calm, and collected so far. After that first blood did go over to HLE.
No major disasters. You know, a Scion picking up a kill is not that crazy. It is great that he has Bramble Vest, though. The timing of this is actually really great for Zeus' first back. Yep,
especially when the Cullby came in from Kingen as well. It's going to mean even less. Oh, the Charm is going to miss as Sponge had flashed for that play. Kanavi keeping himself alive, but he will be going down. Lahens has moved in as well, looking for a kill onto Zeka, and he's not going to be able to find him as he flashes away.
The observers were like, he dredgelines this? And he's like, nah, I'm autoing the ward.
And he's also got the unsealed spellbook.
Yeah.
So, Lahens can utilize some other summoner spells while those the heal and flash are on cooldown.
It does feel like a lot of the time Pantheon is the worst enemy of Kanavi because he always goes in these early game exchanges, and Pantheon is just so high burst. Even with the charm avoid, he just goes down. And then Zeka has to flash here. Lahens flashes as well. But like you said, he has unsealed spellbook, so see what he pulls up next, as this ends up being a very favorable exchange for NONGSHIM, but not as valuable, I would argue, as the kill that went over to Zeus early on the Scion. Yeah, this game is still incredibly close, right? I mean, we're looking at a 300 gold lead here for HLE, but most of that is in the first blood and the assist money. It's otherwise a game that really hasn't gotten off the ground yet.
Oh, Kanavi actually looking for an aggressive angle, going towards the Scuttle Crab for now, but I thought maybe he'd poke his head in to see what Kingen's up to. Doesn't quite have level 6 just yet. And so Kanavi just going to be on this Scuttle for now. Sponge is going to approach.
Well, this could be a problem.
Yeah, I guess the movement speed there as Kanavi is able to lock this one down. Fully charged Q going to miss there as well. So
I thought with like level 6 coming up from Scuttle that he was just going to ult Sponge with Zeus coming down. But it is a lot of skirmishing power here in this Ambessa Ahri. If Scout was able to rotate over faster, they don't commit. But it's those moments where it's like, oh, I would like to have a Scuttle Crab, but Scuttle Crab means level 6 for Kanavi. You always got to wonder if he's going to pull the trigger.
And Delighted also roamed over. You can see Lahens is actually just hanging out with Diablo here on this bottom side. And so that means the Pike value certainly going to be a bit dangerous. Teleport into the top lane from Lahens. Okay.
Yeah, well, he's just like, Diablo, you need some extra experience at level 6. I'm going to very dramatically give you that chance.
Yeah, now he's just going to go back home. So
you guys remember the meme about Gio and the pizza in the fridge? Or whatever, like, I left pizza money on the table. Such a Lahens moment. He's like, if they dive, I'm going to be there, which is what he was expecting, which is why he went up there. He's like, I think there could be a dive or something going on up there. And if not, if Zeus pushes too hard, we might be able to get the punish, because he has Dredgeline, Kingen follows up with ult, maybe they get something there, but instead it's just him coming back, and Diablo is about to hit level 6. Guma's had his for a while, but this arrow is quite potent, set up here with Sponge's level 6 that he's about to get off of this red buff.
Yeah, exactly right. Diablo now has that ulti up and available. Grand Starfall will be there for Sponge as finally he's hitting level 6. Kanavi already on this Drake though. Cease and desist in hand, and Lahens rotating over towards the mid lane. Zeka moving down alongside Delight here.
I think NONGSHIM should opt out of this. There's just too much of a strong setup. There's so much strong turn here. And grabbing a plate here in exchange would not feel so bad if they can.
That Crystalline Overgrowth is there, so Scout should be able to grab this plate and does so. That is good news. Sponge moving over as well, as now Pike going on a little bit of a wander.
Yeah, Delight is being followed.
Yeah. And Zeka is also seen here as well, this ward getting some work done as Kanavi going to get dredgelined immediately. Stun going to be held on to at least for now as Delight moves in. Kanavi turns it into an engage as Scout does get the return on the Orb of Deception, but they take down Lehens. Kanavi still keeping himself alive. They take down 2 and Scout cannot find the damage. Guma with the Mega Inferno Bomb hits it in the center and Scout will fall as well. HLE just wiped them off the rip.
Absolute domination in this exchange. They predicted Kanavi's pathing. They knew where he'd be. They had the vision set up, but they just get outplayed. Kingen looking for a bit of an outplay himself, though.
Yeah, Delight.
I don't know if they win this without help, but Guma did just TP in.
And Zeus did as well, so he is able to keep this one working. Sponge moving over, and Zeka could be dove.
Yeah, that's maybe what they were trying to do is pull those TPs. Here we go.
Yep, Sponge gets on in there. Let's see whether they can get enough damage down. The Enchanted Crystal Arrow is going to come on through. Zeka goes into stealth, but then will just get autoed down by Diablo, who tanks up the turret. 2 shots able to be absorbed here by the Ashe, and they do get their pick.
Okay, well played. They get the cross map to work out without a hitch. So going back to this play is really important. This might be the game-defining moment. They look for this onto Kanavi, expecting that Delight has left completely, and Scout is coming over. But it's a 3v3 where they have the 3 faster. Scout does not actually get as much damage done here, as I think he would have liked. They don't get the reset on the initial pick on the Kanavi, and now he's just up a creek without a paddle. And Guma also can impact this play with his ultimate. And they just went way too deep for the potential pick. And as that topside play is happening, we do see Diablo's like, okay, I've got arrow. Sponge sets up the sun. He follows with the arrow. Very clean here. Juggling of the aggro. Diablo takes 2 turret shots, but then is going to be fine. Yep.
And didn't re-pick up the aggro either after it was dropped by Sponge. So really nicely played. Still, not going to get them out of the woods. As Scout comes on over and clears out the back wave, as we can see there. Kraken Slayer is done here for Diablo. And so it is still a pretty close game between these two, but HLE have the Dragon advantage, and they also have a composition that can certainly do some pretty incredible things as far as making money is concerned throughout this mid-game if Delight can get himself involved. And already 1-0-2 on this Pyke.
Both of these comps do very different things, and to see a 400 gold lead to 500 gold lead on everyone except the Aurora is not enough to say this game is in HANWHA's favor, especially when NONGSHIM have so many ways to get back into this game with so much pick and so much CC. It's going to take a much larger lead before you feel comfortable as a HANWHA Life esports fan that this one is going to 3. Still, great start so far. He's going to take this and stabilize with it and maintain control over these upcoming objectives. For example, Dragon in 2 minutes here, Herald in just under 4 minutes. And if you can secure objectives like that, especially the Herald, then you're going to be feeling really good about coasting through the mid-game.
Well, let's see what they can actually get done here. Zeka just holding onto this wave as best he can. We have Scout parked in the bottom lane for now, dealing with that one. As Kingen still looking a little worse for wear, but 22 stacks on that cull. And they're going to have double cash in, actually, to really help with their money woes they do have at the minute. As NONGSHIM just setting up around a potential Herald, but that's not up for another 3 minutes' time. It's a minute until second Dragon as well. And Zeus puts together his first item. This is a scary Scion. I just feel like fighting around the next Drake is just going to be so hard with how powerful Zeus is in this game.
He is really strong. Ooh, as Kanavi
going in, doesn't find the Vault Breaker as he does get stunned. Mega Inferno Bomb not exactly doing the most here as Aegis is going to eat a lot of that damage. Cease and desist onto the Nautilus, and they're looking to take him down. Blast Cone not going to quite work out there for Delight as they get away from Gumayusi, and Diablo is just walking him down, throwing the autos in. Oh, not quite enough damage, and he's hit by a train. Zeus puts him down, and Guma just waddles away.
And again, the deafening roar of the crowd here for HANWHA Life Esports as it all goes wrong, as it all goes awry. If he was just a little bit stronger in this game, he gets those kills. He's fearless in these moments, but just a little bit too far behind at this particular junction. As Lehens actually plays this well, the bomb from Guma is practically worthless. It gets a shield from Lehens, but then they focus on Lehens, and Diablo's like, all right, I'm not pushing on the left side of this fight. I'm going to push on Guma because he actually is just spell-based. And if I can barrier and push on him, I should be able to get the kill here. But Guma has flash, and he's able to flash to safety here, and then Diablo is, once again, just in no man's land. He cannot actually get out. Would have loved to have a kill on his way out, especially because he committed so much to that fight, but it does not come up successful. He's about to cash in his cull, But now, HANWHA Esports, if they could secure the second dragon, they're feeling great in this game as Scout. Nice dodge.
Yeah, but does have to use his ulti to do so. Orbit Deception getting a lot of work done towards Kanavi as the Charm is going to go wide. NONGSHIM with a decent position around this Drake, but it still feels pretty scary. There is a lot of ultimates on cooldown on the side of HLE. That might give NONGSHIM an avenue to make this one work out.
They're all coming back up, though. And NONGSHIM need to be fast on this dragon. TP going to be committed by both top laners. Bomb out.
Yeah, Diablo in a lot of trouble here as there's a between worlds from Zeka. He does get to the other side, but the arrow is going to connect onto the Aurora. Diablo stands his ground. Maybe he shouldn't have, as there's death from below. But it is going to be a lot of damage going on over to Delight. The roar of the crowd, though, as HLE do find the kills. Lens is going to be interrupted. The vault breaks as Kanavi goes in. He's going to die, but he's okay with it. A Scout dodges out of the way of the Q from Zeus, and they are still going forward. I'm not sure whether it's a great idea. As the flash in from Kingen locks down the kill onto Delight, and now it's a 3-for-3.
Yeah,
the Dragon is just forgotten one.
I do feel that if HLE just played this a lot slower, they could have had a much more solid end result. But they only know one thing.
And now Gumayusi is in trouble. Sponge is going to turn up, and down he will go. Cute little bait there from Kingen to try and bait him into stopping that recall, as now Sponge should be able to go over and secure the Dragon.
Okay, so initially here, Bomb is decent value, and it looks like HLE are going to be able to crush this fight, but they're so split. Like, Guma used his ult. He can't close the gap because of the Zambesa. Zeka goes in deep, but doesn't have any follow-up, and Diablo does get ulted here by Delight. This actually puts Delight in harm's way, and Kingen is very healthy here. This ult from Zeus is when it starts to look a little bit awkward here. Scout's flash, by the way, also amazing in just a moment. Now Kanavi's dead.
Oh, it's the steal. Kanavi locks that one up. It's a Hextech soul this game. That's absolutely crazy. But Zeus is now taking a lot of damage, but he's also exceedingly tanky. Sponge is going to go down because he isn't, and the cease and desist is going to connect onto Scout. He will be taken out, and NONGSHIM a bridge too far, trying to take that Drake.
Yeah, we don't know the exact setup, but it obviously was way better for HLE. Is now Kingen's isolated.
The arrow is going to connect onto Zeus, but I don't know whether that really matters as the Mega Inferno Bomb comes down. He tries to go between worlds. Instead, he goes between the Veil and will be taken on out. Lehens and Diablo, the last men surviving here for NONGSHIM, and it looked like that last fight was something they were able to navigate pretty well. This one, definitely not.
Yeah, not looking great here for NONGSHIM anymore in this game. HANWHA Esports get 2 dragons. The Herald is their next prize, and I think with that, they should be able to finally break open this mid turret and continue to dive aggressively. So this is a Kanavi steal angle. Just casually cues in. And then the follow-up here in the fight is very awkward because Sponge is trying to go in, but there isn't enough damage to follow up just yet, as this comp is more pick-based than burst-based, and they just kind of get picked apart piece by piece right afterwards. It's a bit of a disaster here, and I'm not sure what Kingen was thinking here.
I think he just thought that there was some lower health bars, we can go for a re-engage, and their cooldowns were used, but they weren't.
It looked like he was the Aurora using the circle there with his ult, but
yeah.
Kind of gets tossed around like a ragdoll and then dies. This game is not unplayable. There's so many ways back in for NONGSHIM, and Diablo is an Ashe that's, got a decent amount of income left to pick up here before we get to insurmountable territory. But it's Hextech Soul. HANWHA Esports are poised to contest this Herald. They are going to need to get Kanavi over there. He doesn't have his ult just yet. There's a small window here for NONGSHIM.
Lehens is also well and truly behind enemy lines right now. As Scout looking for a bit of an angle. Lehens will get onto Kanavi as he's looking for a different target here, but I think he's going to have to just choose anyone because otherwise he's going to go down. That is going to be the secure, as now Zeka could be in trouble. Kingen trying to fight against Zeus, but really would prefer to be hitting anyone else, as Kanavi will be able to finish off Lehens. And Delight just standing in front of his AD carry, who's currently playing a mage. And HLE, they do take down Lehens, but it costs them the Rift Herald.
Yeah, Rift Herald here for Lehens is a trade that I think HLE are going to have to be okay with in this situation. But for NONGSHIM, if you can use that Herald to get a little bit more control on the map, it would feel nice. This Crystalline Overgrowth is going to break, and even though they don't have a Herald to kill it, this wave is big enough to drop a satchel and take that mid turret out. Now, it's Vi Aurora's playground, Pyke as well, with this turret take. The opportunities here have now exploded for HLE, and they're looking for, again, that sole point here in 2 minutes' time.
And it's a 4,000 gold lead. I mean, this is what happens when you start winning team fights as a Pyke. You can see 2, 1, and 6 now on this champion, and Death from Below really does fill those coffers. There is the Shadow Flame done for Gumayusi, as we do see the teleport coming on in. As
they're going to drop Herald. He had the Herald because he picked it up in the pit.
Yep. And so they should be able to at least answer that that turret taker's hands, just not quite able to take the anchor there. Needed an extra link in the chain. As
they're going in.
Sponge is going in as well. They dive the turret. They take down Guma. Kanavi's now in trouble, but Zeus is such a brick wall. Zeka gets into that backline, and it's Diablo that's taken out now. Can Scout get the damage done? Can Kingen get it done? As it's a double for Zeka, and it looks like NONGSHIM are going to need to vacate the area. Zeus is just not taking damage. He's wandering amongst 3 people.
Zeka?
Yeah, Zeka possibly caught out of position, but does get behind that wall as Lehens is now in trouble. He's going to get destroyed. And the Orb of Deception, the true damage is decent here. Kingen is still fighting as, the Bone Skewer doesn't quite connect. The Charm misses as well, though. And Zeus' health bar is starting to at least dissipate
Arrow
for the
in 2
moment.
seconds.
Yeah, Kingen getting himself out of the way.
Arrow's coming.
Okay. It's flying up the mid lane. Zeus, he's going to get tagged and taken down. Gumayusi gets in there, and it's going to be enough to take the rest of them down. 2,500 assists for Zeus as well. As the Zombie Scion, he did enough.
If they were just a little bit less behind, I feel like that fight was so much more playable for NONGSHIM, but they just could not get through Zeus' health bar until the arrow landed. But by that point, it was already done as Scout was getting outplayed moment by moment there from Zeka. I don't know if we'll take a look at that one again or not, because a lot is going on the map here, and that was an incredibly long fight. But
5 seconds until the Drake.
Yeah, the next point that we need to watch here is this Dragon, as we're going to watch Scout set up this flash play here. The follow-up was there from Kingen, and they end up getting the kills. It's a bit of a disaster in the aftermath here. I do want to know who's taking that Dragon, but
yeah, me too.
Ultimately, I'm going to watch this fight as...
All right,
here we go. In live.
Yeah.
Surely.
Having a look at the pit, there it is. As Kanavi, cease and desist, gets on top of Scout, but he's by himself. Gumayusi trying to get those bouncing bombs in there as Diablo, he stays alive for a bit, will be crushed by Zeka. Kanavi is the trade, as now it's Kingen and Scout again against the world, and Zeus is one more time absolutely immortal. Lehens died at some point, but he often does.
They got the kill onto the jungler, though. So with Kanavi down, the Dragon is not free.
Wait. Where was Sponge? The observers had no idea where he was.
Yeah.
Neither. Wait.
I'm not sure.
Seriously, where was he?
Though, it looks like. And maybe he was just recalling somewhere where he was on vision. Either way, Dragon is going to go over here because now there are 2 junglers dead.
Yeah.
And so we jump into this fight. Initially here, you're like, okay, there is a world where if Kanavi overextends, this is playable, but look at where Diablo is. He's on the back side. He kind of got abandoned, and he's blown up here by Zeka. That's the most important part of this, because if he lives, then they can front to back this. They will eventually cut through the Scion health bar. And yes, Ambessa does a lot of damage, and Clear made me a believer earlier, but it is just not enough to get through Zeus' Scion here.
Okay. Mega Inferno bombed.
Yeah, I mean, we knew it was ulted, or I did, but because I saw the cooldown of Guma's ult, but I didn't know exactly where his body was going to come back down.
Well, Zeus is not winning these trades with Kingen in side lanes anymore, but he doesn't really need to. That's not really his job.
One thing I'll say about this game state, which is definitely HANWHA Life Esports favored, is that it does not feel like the door is fully closed, because we're seeing these fights end up going way closer than I think that they should and that we expect them to, because HANWHA Life Esports not necessarily fully grouped together when they go for these engages. We have 4 deaths on Kanavi's Vi this game, and a lot of those have been him trying to set up plays on his own. If they could just group together, I feel like it becomes incredibly simple to play out from here with the lead that Guma has right now in this game, but we'll see how they set up this next Baron. 4 minutes until their Hextech Soul. They want to have all the advantages possible before that happens, and that should truly close the door on this game. Is Guma?
Oh yeah, Arrow is going to connect onto Gumayusi, but Kanavi's right there to try and take down Diablo, and he will be successful. Public execution from Kingen. They really want to kill Guma. Let's see whether they can actually do it, as finally he does go down. Kingen flashes away as well to keep himself alive. Great knockups here from Lehens, but it's Sponge that will hit the deck. Kingen's too weak to fight. Lehens is probably just going to be dead again. again. And Zeus teleported, I think, underneath an enemy turret and didn't really notice. As Kingen, we mentioned he was limping away. I don't think this turret is safety as triple kill comes in for the Aurora. And yes, you get, last year's World's MVP, but you may have just lost the game.
All right, well, I suppose they get Baron now, and I suppose the Scion will probably stop running into the enemy base chasing an Ahri. Diablo's going to come over here, but it's just way too late. Way too optimistic. I mean, this TP from Lens is a little crazy. Maybe they just want to try to get exit kills on desynced backs. I mean, it's fairly healthy Baron by the time they get here, actually.
Yeah, this...
There's no real normal AD carry, and Guma wasn't even there.
Delight is in such a weird angle as well. Let's see whether he can find a bone skewer angle as he wants to try and take down Diablo. Diablo gets himself out of the way though. That is a kill onto the enemy jungler, and Diablo just cannot play this game. It's just not allowed. Scout can't get the damage done. It is a double for Guma. And the Baron, they can just go back and look to take it down if they would like to, or look for a reset. It's 28 to 12 kills.
Yeah, the kills are kind of absurd here, and there's only one turret, which is crazy, a piece.
HLE are above 1 kill a minute as
a team,
themselves.
a solo team, yeah. Okay, so this gets really messy here. Guma actually is able to sidestep, which buys him a lot of time, which is a big difference maker in this fight. And then King gets over the wall, but there's no damage. This is the same story every time. Diablo dies first. And like when Diablo dies first, you can't kill Zeus. So he's just like, I'm gonna go into their base, I guess. Doesn't even matter. They don't get any more turrets. Like there's one turret killed for HANWHA Life Esports in this game. With how many kills did you say it was?
28.
And one turret. That's absurd. As this is just a Hail Mary at this point, as Diablo,
oh my god, just
so much damage.
Destroyed.
Just destroyed indeed. And Scout is trying his best to clean up these fights, but he can't get it done.
No, it's now 3,500 gold the lead for Gumayusi, and Diablo's died 6 times, and it's been at the very beginning of every team fight we've had since about 12 minutes into the game. If
they can get a pick here and some bounty gold from this turret, could be pretty massive, but they're going to shy away from it. Kanavi was shadowing.
Yeah.
Goodbye shield.
Yeah, there's the cease and desist. Mega Inferno Bomb does come on down as Delight hits a bone skewer, but Kanavi will be dead. Let's see whether Scout can use some of this essence that he's built up for himself, as Kingen's in the top lane and should be able to get a bunch of damage onto this turret. Should be able to take it down.
I kind of feel like NONGSHIM are playing better League of Legends right now, but the deficit is so big, it's so hard for them to actually do anything, but they duped them. They tricked them, made it look like it was going to be a collapse onto Zeka here. Well, the rest of the team is here, and Kanavi was setting a trap himself, but now he's like, oh god, they're all here. And yes, Guma can drop a bomb from far away, but they need more damage than this, and they just don't have it.
And the arrow onto Zeka was actually huge. It meant that he couldn't augment the extra damage.
Exactly.
And try to make Kanavi's weird attempt of an escape to work out.
And Zeka's pretty big in this game, but it's not, at this point, going to matter if he doesn't actually get to participate in the fights because they happen before he gets there.
Good charm going to connect onto Delight. We have to remember Pyke's value does go down as the game goes on.
All right, I think NONGSHIM need to pick onto a champion, and they can't just necessarily burst this dragon down. Scout gets a charm.
Yeah, we'll have to use the ulti to get
going for dragon.
As there it is. Let's see where the Kanavi can look. He does! Another beautiful steal for the Vi, and now they have Hextech Soul. So much damage. Diablo obviously dead again at the beginning of the fight, but Zeka will go down this time. Still, he gets knocked up, taken out of here, and it's only Lahans trying to lumber away from the battlefield, and he will not be allowed to do so. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for us to go to 6 games for the 3rd time this season as the ace comes in.
But Atlas, there's only 2 turrets down in this game, so HLE can't end right now. I agree that this game should be well and truly done, and we should be going to 6. But I think it's going to happen right now. I think NONGSHIM do get 1 or 2 more tries here. As initially, Delight looks like he's gone way too low here, but they get on top of, you guessed it, Diablo again. And Zeka's incredibly low. They do focus him down, and a big shutdown goes over, but ultimately the fight is 100% won. NONGSHIM really struggling to get their Ashe into position to do things in this game because there's a lot of CC and a big burly Scion guy. that keeps running him down. He's 7 deaths in this game. He's sitting on 3 items. Guma almost has his death cap, 4,000 gold ahead.
I was worried that Zeus wasn't going to make it to, you know, what was it, 2,500 assists, because top laners don't get a whole lot of assists. He has 22
Yeah, he has
in just this game.
There are 47 kills in this game. I might have to reference my most kills in a game stat.
Yeah,
in this one.
That's a lot. Zekka is also 11, 3, and 12. That's an absurd scoreline that he has right now.
But he's 1,000 gold behind.
Which makes so little sense.
A part of it's that shutdown as Diablo.
Yeah, Kanavi might be in trouble here, as he has been dying a lot this game, but often it is with his team then able to get the work done. Diablo is just dead. You know what feels like by accident? Kanavi lives for such a long time. He had GA that whole time. Guma takes down King, and Scout is just wanting out of this one. And I have a feeling that HLE may grant his wish, as all they need to do now is wander down the mid lane and claim the victory. He was trying to get a little teleport down, but he will now die, punched in the face by a Kanavi that was not picked in the mid lane.
That is that. Now they will actually end the game as Zaka TP's back and comes over. Double death caps worth of AP damage to wreck these turrets.
My goodness, this was the bloodiest game
I
have cast in a really long time.
Can they kill it? Can they kill him again?
Diablo almost just dead. I think they just looked at him. Mega Inferno kills him on the fountain as Lahans, I mean, every bouncing bomb does about 60 trillion damage. Yeah, I mean, at least Diablo gets 1 kill at the end there, but the Nexus will go down, and HLE